need to throw everything away to have a calmer, more organized home, and you don't need extreme decluttering rules either. What you really need is a system that works with your daily life, not against it. In this video, I'm sharing simple, realistic ways to tidy your home faster without overthinking, over-organizing, or exhausting yourself. These are small systems I use every day where things land, how much space they're allowed to take, and how placement can quietly do the work for you. When your home supports your habit, staying organized becomes easier than constantly cleaning. Keep watching, and if you find these ideas helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. There's much more calm, practical, and useful content waiting for you here. Let's start with the simple entryway system. I keep my entryway simple on purpose because it sets the tone for the entire house. I don't aim for a perfect look, just a setup that works every single day. Each person in my family has their own hook. One hook, one jacket or bag that is actually in use. My husband's work bag, my everyday tote, and my kids' school backpacks all have a clear place to land. When there aren't enough hooks, I don't add more furniture, I reduce what we keep there. That small rule alone prevents the entryway from turning into a pile. Right next to the door, I keep a shallow tray for essentials keys, wallet, earbuds. It sits at hand level, so dropping things there feels natural. I learned this the hard way after too many rushed mornings searching for keys while everyone waited in the car. Once the tray became part of our routine, the stress quietly disappeared. I also rotate items by season. In summer, heavy coats are stored away not just in case. The entryway only holds what we need right now. This keeps the space visually calm and easy to manage. One habit I had to break was hanging things temporarily on door handles or chairs. Temporary always became permanent. Now, each person has one assigned spot, and we don't share hooks. If something doesn't fit, it doesn't belong there. Once the entryway became simpler, I noticed something important. Next, I want to talk about part 2, Space is Finite. I learned an important lesson about keeping my home manageable. Space is finite. When something feels crowded, it usually isn't because I lack shelves or hooks, it's because I have too much stuff competing for the same space. In our entryway, the hooks were always full. My first instinct used to be buying more hooks or adding another rack. But every time I did that, the area looked heavier and harder to maintain. That's when I set a simple rule: one hook equals one coat that is actively being worn. If a coat didn't earn a hook, it didn't belong there. This rule forced me to pay attention to reality, not intention. Jackets I thought I might wear someday stayed untouched for an entire season. When a coat wasn't worn through fall or winter, I let it go. Not dramatically, just calmly into the donation bin. I stopped compressing more items onto the same hook or layering clothes on top of each other to make it work. That kind of squeezing only hides the problem. Once I stopped adding storage, the space started to feel lighter. I realized that buying shelves never solved the tension I felt when looking at cluttered corners. It only delayed the decision to reduce. Now every time we run out of hanging space, I treat it as a signal. Instead of reorganizing, I remove one item. One coat out makes room for one coat in. This keeps the system honest and prevents overflow before it starts. Living this way has changed how I tidy. I don't spend time rearranging or sorting daily. The limits are clear and the space stays functional because it isn't forced to hold more than it can handle. Understanding limits helped me reduce what stayed out, but I still needed a way to handle busy moments. Now we move into part 3, the done bin. I rely on one simple tool, a done bin. It's a small basket that holds items I don't have time to deal with right away, like mail returns or things that need a quick decision later. The key is that there is only one done bin and it lives in a fixed, visible spot. I don't tuck it into a closet or hide it under a table. Seeing it reminds me that these items are temporary, not settled. I also set a clear boundary. Anything that goes into the bin must be something I will handle within the next 24 to 48 hours. If I don't know what it is or who it belongs to, it doesn't go in. This rule prevents the bin from turning into another clutter pile. I learned that the hard way when Just for Now started lasting weeks. Now each evening I spend 5 quiet minutes checking the done bin. Sometimes I return an item to its place, sometimes I toss junk mail, and sometimes I add something to the donation bag. The time is short, but the consistency matters. On days when I'm tired, this system keeps the house from falling apart. I don't have to clean deeply or make big decisions in the moment. The done bin holds the pause for me, and that alone keeps the rest of the space calm and clear. The done bin worked until I noticed how easily one could turn into many. That's when I realized the tool itself needed boundaries to stay helpful. Following that, let's look at limiting done bins. In my home, each room is allowed only one done bin. That's it. If I feel the urge to add another basket, I take it as a warning sign, not a solution. It means there are simply too many items without a clear place. Adding more containers would only delay the real work. I also avoid large baskets. A small done bin forces decisions. When it fills up, I can't ignore it. I have to sort it, return items, donate what's no longer needed, or throw things away. I don't allow done bins to become long-term storage. They exist to pause decisions briefly, not to store indecision for weeks. I learned this after noticing that extra baskets made my rooms look tidy at first, but heavier over time. Each bin became a quiet holding area for unfinished tasks. Instead of reducing mess, I was spreading it across the house. Now, when a done bin fills up, I treat it as a natural stopping point. I take 10 minutes and reset the space. No complicated organizing, just clearing the bin and restoring order. The biggest lesson has been simple. More baskets don't create calm. Fewer smaller bins create clarity. One bin per room keeps clutter contained, visible and manageable before it turns into another pile I have to deal with later. Once clutter was contained, the next challenge was letting things leave for good. This next part is about placement makes donating easier. The location matters more than the container. Because the bin sits close to the door, taking it out feels easy and natural. When it's full, I grab it on my way out and drop it off. I don't move it to the garage or a closet for later. Those places turn donations into delays. I also avoid rechecking items once they're in the bin. I've already made the decision. For example, when my children outgrow their clothes, I put them directly into the donation bin. I don't fold them, reconsider them, or save them just in case. That second guessing is what used to keep clutter cycling back into the house. Before this system, donation bags would sit around for weeks and somehow get reopened. Now the rule is clear. The donation bin is a one-way path. Nothing comes back out. This small habit has made letting go easier. The house stays lighter, not because I declutter more often, but because donated items actually leave when I decide they should. With fewer items cycling back in, I started focusing on what still needed daily access. Some things didn't need hiding. They needed a clear, visible place to land. Now we come to part 6, the visible landing zone. I stopped losing things once I stopped hiding them. That was the quiet logic behind creating a visible landing zone in our living space. It's not decorative and it's not meant to disappear into the background. It exists to be seen. I use an open tray, no lid, no drawers, and I place it in the most visible spot in the room. Not the prettiest corner, but the place my eyes naturally land when I walk in. This tray is only for items that tend to wander the TV remote, a pair of scissors, spare batteries. Nothing else is allowed in. The rule is simple. If an item often gets lost, it earns a home in the landing zone. If it doesn't belong there, it doesn't touch the tray. I learned quickly that letting extra items join in receipts toys, random objects turns clarity into clutter. So I'm firm. No guest items, no exceptions. Each object has its own spot within the tray. Not labeled, just familiar. My hand knows where the remote should be. That physical memory matters more than neatness. When something is missing, I don't search the room, I check one place. Before this evenings often ended with me lifting couch cushions or retracing steps from earlier in the day. It wasn't dramatic, just tiring. The visible landing zone removed that friction. I'm not organizing more, I'm deciding once. This small system has taught me that convenience beats perfection. When storage is obvious and open, items return themselves. And when things are easy to put back, they stop getting lost in the first place. Seeing everyday items clearly made me think differently about reminders. At this point, let's talk about how to stop forgetting small tasks. I don't rely on memory anymore, especially for small tasks that need to happen on the way out. Instead, I rely on placement. For things I tend to forget, I create physical reminders right along my daily path. Near our front door, I hang a reusable trash and recycling bag. It's impossible to miss. If something needs to be taken out, old male empty packaging bottles, it goes there immediately. The bag isn't about storage, it's about signaling. When I reach for my keys, I see it, and the task completes itself. I also use small visual reminders at eye level. A simple note on a hook, a tag tied to the door handle, or a small whiteboard near the exit works better for me than digital reminders. My phone already holds too many alerts. Adding more only creates noise that I learn to ignore. Physical reminders, on the other hand, stay quiet but present. I realized I wasn't forgetful, I was overloaded. Expecting my mind to remember every small responsibility was unrealistic. By using location instead of memory, I reduce that mental pressure. I don't rehearse tasks in my head anymore. The house reminds me when the moment is right. Every morning, I pass the same spots: the door, the key, tray, the hanging bag. The reminders meet me there. Nothing feels urgent or loud, but nothing gets missed either. The system works because it follows my movement, not my motivation. This approach has changed how I feel about myself. I no longer think I always forget things. The forgetting wasn't a flaw, it was a sign that the system was missing. When the reminder lives where the action happens, tasks flow naturally. And with fewer loose ends in my head, the house and my mind both feel calmer. Once I stopped relying on memory, I applied the same idea to food. Next up is Part 8, Store Snacks in Clear Open Bins. I keep our snack storage as open and visible as possible because hidden food always leads to overbuying. The system I rely on is simple, clear, open bins with no lids. When I open the pantry, I can see everything at a glance. There's no guessing and no digging. Each type of snack gets its own bin. Granola bars in one, crackers in another, fruit snacks in a third. The rule is visual honesty. If a bin looks empty, it's time to add it to the shopping list. If it looks full, I don't buy more, no matter how good the sale is. This alone has stopped the cycle of buying duplicates because I thought we were out. I used to store snacks in boxes or behind cabinet doors, which made it hard to track what we actually had. Food expired quietly, and money disappeared just as quietly. With open, clear bins, the inventory manages itself. There's another benefit I didn't expect. When a bin gets too full, it's a signal to pause. Instead of Finally, we'll end with an organized workspace. For areas we don't use every day, like the toilet cabinet or a small storage closet, I keep the system closed, clear, and labeled. These spaces don't need to look busy or inviting. They need to stay calm and predictable. I use matching containers with lids to reduce visual noise. When everything looks similar, my eyes relax and the space feels smaller and easier to manage. Each box has a simple label: medication, backups, cleaning supplies. I don't rely on memory or guessing. I want to know what's inside before I open anything. I also follow one important rule: if the lid won't close, there's too much inside. I don't force it or switch to a bigger box. That moment tells me it's time to remove expired items, duplicates, or things we no longer use. The container sets the limit for me. I never mix categories. Medications stay separate from cleaning tools, and backups don't share space with daily items. This prevents digging and keeps decisions quick. Once a year, usually before a season change, I do a short review. I'm not organizing, I'm just confirming that everything still belongs. Before I used this system, opening the toilet cabinet felt overwhelming. Things would fall out, and I avoided it altogether. Now, everything is contained and labeled. I don't hesitate to open the door. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this: a messy house is rarely about laziness. Most of the time, it's a system problem. When putting things back feels harder than setting them down just for now, clutter will always win. The goal isn't to try harder, it's to make returning items the easiest option in the room. Every example you saw today follows the same principle. Clear limits visible storage and placement that matches real life. When homes stay messy, it's often because the system asks too much from us, too much memory, too many steps, too many decisions. Once those obstacles are removed, tidying becomes almost automatic. If you want to go deeper, I have another video that breaks down the everyday things that quietly make homes feel cluttered, dated, and heavier than they need to be, and how to fix them in simple, practical ways. Watch that one right after.